To all those above me that watch over me, to all of you, my fave parapeeps on this side of the veil, welcome. This is Reverend Sean Whittington's Paranormal Ministry. I'm your host, Reverend Sean, the Rev. Welcome to my haunted home, my very haunted home. It's been quiet today, but I have a feeling things could pick up because of today's guest, which I will get to as quickly as I can. But I have a couple of quick announcements that I want to get out of the way. I'm going to pick your guys' brain right now. I want to share something with you. Isn't that beautiful? Do you all know what it is? Yes, it's a cross. Do you know what kind of cross? It is a Pictish cross. It is of ancient Scottish Gaelic heritage. It's a Pictish cross. The Picts were the original indigenous that settled Scotland. Small in stature, vicious, fearless warriors, completely tattooed from head to toe, and they went into battle completely naked with their bodies completely painted in blue. That would be a pretty frightening sight if you're a Viking about to throw anchor and come on shore and you see hundreds of Picts on the shore waiting for you to come on. Very interesting history with the Picts. And the reason why I wanted to share that with you today was because that's been on my mind, because there's so many great old Scottish blessings fitting for the time today, because back then they were always so fearful of everything and wanting to bring the great father or God into every aspect of their life. So I'm going to start with a quick little Scottish blessing for all of us. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit, amen. Circle me, Lord. Keep protection near and danger afar. Circle me, Lord. Keep hope within. Keep doubt without. Circle me, Lord. Keep light near and darkness afar. Circle me, Lord. Keep peace within. Keep evil out. Amen. All right, brothers and sisters, I would also like to light a quick candle for the unrest in the Middle East right now. I want everybody to keep everyone in the Middle East in your prayers, both sides, both sides. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and the Holy Spirit, amen. May the Holy Spirit intervene and bring peace to that region of the Middle East now. Amen. Okay. Anything you want to know about my wife and I and our ministry work, you can find out at our website, www.ghost-b-gone.biz. When you go there to visit, remember that my wife and I don't charge for our ministry work, helping people with their paranormal issues. So I know times are tough, but if you notice the donate button and you're able to do so, click on it and send in a small donation. I promise you it'll be appreciated from the bottom of our hearts, and we will put it to good use, I assure you. In addition to being an ordained exorcist, I am also a certified spiritual advisor, intuitive coach. And if you are having issues of a spiritual nature, not necessarily attached to the paranormal, and you would like to make an appointment with the Rev to talk about those issues, you can do that there at the website. But don't leave the website before navigating back over to the page entitled the WSE course/book. On that page, you'll find the ghost store. All kinds of cool things in there to purchase, like this awesome throwback ghostbegone.biz coffee cup. There's t-shirts, hoodies, hats, whatever there, if you go for that sort of stuff. But scroll down to the bottom of that page, and you'll find my new haunted autobiography, God, Ghosts, and the Paranormal Ministry. And I quote, the scariest book I ever published. That was my publisher, Annette Munich, owner of Stellium Books. But please don't let that scare you off of buying a copy. The best thing about my book is that part of the proceeds of every sale of every copy of my book goes to support stjude.org and St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital, Nevada, and that is a beautiful thing. And I just recently added a new charity to that. This is a no-brainer. I've been involved in the animal care industry all my adult life. I've added the ASPCA to it. So now you also help the animals a little bit, with purchasing a copy of my book. Okay, what else do I want to tell you guys? I think that's it. Oh, my course, the Worldwide Society of Exorcists, which I'm a founding member of. You can sign up at the website for my 12-week online college level course, Introduction to Spiritual Warfare. I offer that personally. I'm the instructor. If you are a warrior for Christ, that's your course. I'll teach you how to draw your line in the sand and put up a good fight against true evil, God forbid, if it ever comes calling. All my students that graduate get a stunning diploma, certificate of completion suited for framing, along with some very special blessed items that you can only get from yours truly. So you can sign up for the course there. You can also read more about the course at the Worldwide Society of Exorcists Facebook page. And please keep all of my former, current, and future students in your prayers. All right, guys, the reason why you've all come today. I love my guest. I've known her for a while. I know you guys all know her and love her too. But visionary, world-renowned visionary channel of consciousness, extremely gifted and talented when it comes to people in tune with the spiritual world. But she also happens to be, I'm just going to throw it out there, the leading authority on all things Ouija, talking boards, spirit boards, divination of all sorts, and the like. Brothers and sisters, please welcome to the show the one and only Karen DAHLMAN. Karen, are you with us?
I'm here. Hi, everybody. Thank you for joining us. And it's great to be back with you, Reverend Sean.
Okay, now you know why I wanted to bring you to my Friday show and introduce you to my Friday people. You're far too pretty to be on audio only. That's the great thing about my Friday show. It's on camera, and I reach a lot more people on a Friday afternoon at 2 p.m. Pacific than I would on a Monday night at 5. Two completely different audiences. So I'm so glad that you had an hour out of your busy schedule to spend with us. You have a lot of fans. You have a lot of followers. They've all been sending me questions and messages all week. So I've wrote some of them down. I'll hit you with some of them. And I've got a few of my own questions too. But I want you to have fun because I'm going to want you to come back. So if I ask you anything you don't want to talk about.
Oh, I talk about it all. Listen, we always have a good time. And you're right. The last time we were together was over the airwaves. We just did audio.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I did send your cat an RSVP. He never,
he's here.
Actually an invitation. He never RSVP'd back.
Look, so. Watch. Bear, look, there he is. Bear, they want to say hi to you. Hi.
He says,
See, he's right there.
Please,
listen, wherever the Ouija goes, he goes. He loves Ouija.
Well, here we go. He looks like my cat that we had for 10 years that we recently had to help on its way to heaven. She got sick, but they look almost identical, which I find interesting. And right after my cat, shortly before she passed away, 4 cats that we didn't know where they came from showed up, and they seemed like her best friends. And I think now that they came to sort of help her on her way. Now they've stayed. Now I've got these 4 cats living in our front yard. We had to put 2 more carriers out there and more food, and it is what it is.
Oh, that's precious. The animals do help each other. They really do. And they know when another animal is getting ready to transition. So it's beautiful.
It is. It really is. And I feel them, all the ones that I've ever had, especially the ones I moved in here with and the ones that have lived with me that have moved on to heaven too. I still feel them here. So it is a cool thing. But let me ask you, we haven't talked in a little while. I want to get the most important things out of the way. I wish we could do a do-over of last year. How are you holding up during the pandemic? Your opinions on the vaccine, if you've channeled consciousness and have received any messages from them about all of this, and just, I know I just threw a bunch of questions at you. I'm sorry, but what do you think? Just whatever you want to tell us.
Yeah, sure. You threw a lot out there, but let me just unwrap that a little bit. So I think this whole pandemic thing has really, it made us all pause literally in our lives and what we could do, where we could go, what we could be, what we could see. work, etc., family, and then of course the whole element of people dying or the sickness and all that. So I feel like it was. I always try to look at things in a bigger picture, like not just what I see with my eyes or hear with my ears. It's almost like I want to see, what does this all mean? Is there a bigger meaning to this? And of course, the guides were talking to me a lot about this, and some of those items are on my website, but I will share a little bit. And they also did some videos during this time. But I do want to say this: I feel like this COVID, if people used it to the max they could, the best to their abilities, they would find that they're starting to develop their abilities. They're starting to develop their abilities of like vision, meaning like psychic abilities, intuitive abilities, or empathic abilities like clairvoyance, clairaudience, those kinds of things. People are beginning to spend more time with themselves and that's the key to this, to spend more time with yourself to develop these abilities. So I find that a lot more people were saying, oh, paranormal stuff was sky high. Well, it's not that paranormal stuff was just all of a sudden coming out of the woodworks. It's that now you're beginning to notice and listen and taking the time that's required. So people were starting to have more dreams or remember their dreams, and or to get messages. And I can't tell you how many people have written to me and told me that because their life has changed so much, it's kind of opened them up in new ways. So that's kind of a spiritual paranormal thing that was going on. So all along the guides were talking about this, and the guides were really rooting for humanity in terms of not letting people use the pandemic as an excuse to control us or take away our freedoms. And that was a constant, I would say, what's the word I was trying to think of? It was a constant blueprint that they gave us all the time about: do not give up your individuality. Do not become just a sheep and follow, stand up for your rights. Don't let those go. And so there's a lot of that came through. If you guys want to read more about it, volumes of information came through. If you want to read more about it, go to my website, but also you could see some of my YouTube videos. But yeah, they were giving us so many messages about really opening up to who we are, our individuality, our creativity, how not just to succumb and give yourself over to a number or to people who tell you to behave a certain way, but you still hold on to who you truly are. And that would be what this time was about. To find that, to go within. And now we're at a place where we're coming out to begin expressing that in the world. And I got to say, Sean, so many people, as you know, their lives totally changed on a dime. I mean, it went this direction, that direction. I mean, it just flipped. And I did too. You mean I moved? My board partner moved away. I mean, I knew I was going to move, but didn't know I was going to move that quickly. And he didn't either. And it was just like, more things like that than that had happened. I started becoming working off the board more, you guys, and I was doing more of readings, just intuitive, empathic readings. I work on a psychic hotline now, and I work on my website. I do readings all the time. Just a lot of things were starting to shift for me, as they were for many people. So ask yourself out there, everybody that's listening, what happened to you? And then what's the bigger picture of what happened to you? Because it's not over yet, you guys. This was just the beginning of being able to see the truth, the underbelly of things, and into our own lives, and really make some changes with that information. Did I answer it all?
Beautifully. It's almost like you reached into my head and you picked out all of the stuff that I wanted to say, that there's no way I could have articulated that.
There's just so much.
That was beautiful. Oh, we have a question from Valerie Wright. Hi, Valerie.
Hi, Valerie.
Do you make custom boards for customers? Ooh, good question.
Okay, now I don't particularly do that, but my group, the Talking Board Historical Society, we do that from time to time. So you can go to that group at tbhs.org. You can learn about all the members of this Talking Board Historical Society. And we, at time from time, we have a custom board we create. Now, having said that, I have lots of friends who make custom boards. I have a lot of friends who are artists, and this is what they do. They do this on the side, or they do this, because they enjoy doing it. I have a custom board here that somebody made, and they actually mass produce these and sell them. Her name is Linda Deer. She creates the Ask the Universal Channel board. This is just made out of a nice plastic you can wipe off. Has a little round planchette that comes with it. That's a homemade one, but now she's mass producing it. I am so fortunate because I have so many friends who make boards. They gift them to me. So one thing I want to tell you, Valerie, you don't need to go out and buy a high-end one at first. Bear's sleeping. Bear, can I borrow this for a second? I'm like doing really. It's okay. Like, thank you. Oh, lay back down. Okay, sleepyhead. So, just take a bag like this, Trader Joe's sack. Watch this. Open it up and voila.
Boom.
Listen, you guys, you can make your own. And I always say do that at first until you know what you really want to put your money into, invest in, or if you really want to make your own. Just a simple one like this, start here, and then you will get into custom boards. But gosh darn, you guys, you can make them out of glass. I have a glass board. You can make them out of aluminum. You can make them out of wood, cardboard, poster board, you name it. So I don't do that myself. That's my homemade board right there, you guys. But if you want to find people that make them, you can always send me an email on my website, and I'll definitely send you to a lot of different people who make them.
I used to just go, and it's around here somewhere. I don't know where it's at, but I have what looks like a deck of cards, but each card is either one of the numbers 1 through 10, and the rest of the cards are the alphabet. There's a one letter in each card, and I would just lay the cards out in a circle on in somebody's kitchen table, and there would be yes and no and goodbye and hello, and I would get a shot glass and I would just tip it upside down. You could only have maybe 3 people with each one finger on the shot glass, but that would always work great. But oh my gosh, it is how long. You know what? 2 things here. I'm going to hit you with another couple of questions. People want to know. There's conflicting opinions on the history of talking boards, spirit boards, Ouija especially. I know I want you to address that. And then people have reached out to me this week. And I too, this is a little bit for me also. I mean, I have indigenous friends. They pray to the Great Father. They channel the Great Father. I have other gifted friends that say they channel source energy. I know you refer to yours as consciousness. I know people want to know, can you explain your consciousness that you're channeling, what that is? And then I know people would like to know a little bit about the history of the talking board.
Yeah, so I'll take the first one you mentioned was consciousness. So, it wasn't right away that I understood exactly who I was communicating with. And there were different beings that I communicated along the pathway. What we find in life is when we have these guides that work with us, that some of them don't stay with us all through our life. Some work with us to prepare us for a next guide that may come through. And you may not be consciously aware of this, but it's happening behind the scenes for everybody out there, whether you're aware of it or not. So when I first started, I was talking more to the deceased people, and I had a guide. Her name was Wilma Jean. I do talk about her in that book back there on the Spirits of Ouija. And she was with me for 15 years, and she prepared me a lot about learning about the afterlife, how to make direct connections through the Ouija board, through talking to the deceased. I like to call them the transitioned. And she took me for 15 years on this odyssey of learning to communicate with so many different beings and spirits. But what I found was once I got to a certain level, and the level was this, I started using the board to communicate with my higher self. And I did that for a period of about 3.5, 4 years with 2 other friends. And when I say my higher self, I mean that part of me that's within me, but even greater and expands beyond my corporeal existence. It's beyond the body. It's really that part of me that connects back to the divine, that part of me that is source channeling through me. So it's this greater part. We all have the same thing. It's known by many different names. I like to call it the higher self. It's more psychological. That's really my background as a therapist. So when I started doing the higher self work on the board, that's when it's like something happened, and I can tell you what happened. I learned it later. I had started shifting myself in terms of bringing in higher energies, learning to connect with that directly through myself. And then once I did that, then I started bringing all these different beings, such as the angelic kingdom and realm started coming through. What we would call extraterrestrials, although they would call us extraterrestrials because we're not from their place either. So other kinds of beings and other dimensions started coming through. And then what came through is what I call today the guides. And the guides are never been born in body. They're ethereal beings. They are of source wisdom. They are of the source consciousness. And I use the word wisdom because they talk about the wisdom of the ages that always has helped humanity. Kind of like the golden rule, or we have the 12 commandments. We've always had this golden rule throughout humanity, and they are a part of that, bringing forth that wisdom. And so they come directly from, I would call it all that is, source. And when they come through, they come, it's such a powerful energy, you guys. When I do this work, and I've been working with them since 1994 when they first enter the board. Now I work with them outside the board. Matter of fact, they're here. They're always here, and I just tapped into them. So when I do my readings off the board, they're the ones that come through. They inspire me with the words to say, as well as sometimes I'll directly channel them. Other times they're just right here. I feel them, and I say here because it's like I can kind of feel them around me. But that's who I'm talking to now. And when I get on the board, they will always come through, always, unless they need to bring through another being that has a message, such as the animals, or somebody's angel, or somebody's deceased loved one. But they're always. It's like once I made that connection, it's like it would never go away. It's like so tapped into it. You know what I mean? Now I turn it off. It's not like I'm walking all day long and I'm like, oh my God, because I'm human. They said, don't underestimate your humanity. Is what they always say. They want me to tell you guys this too. Don't ever underestimate your humanity. We are here to be humans and to have that human interface. And then that is just as great as being in any other dimension. So we want me to remind you guys of that. And they remind me of that often too. Now, now we're flipping hats. I do want to say a little bit about the history to the Talking Board. So the Talking Board Historical Society is a group, a nonprofit organization that is here to preserve, to educate the public, and to really reference the people and how the Talking Board got started. Now, a Talking Board and a Spirit Board is not the same thing as a Ouija board. Do we all understand that, right, Sean?
Yes, I do.
Okay, good. Because Ouija is a trademark name. And I'm surrounded by 4 Ouijas over here, actually 5. That's a Ouija too. I have Ouijas from different eras around me. That's like a 1920. You guys, everything's reversed on the camera. So I'm like, which way do I go? This is like the oldest. Sorry, that's a 1910 board. This would have been made by William Fold. Then I've got my Parker Brothers board. That's the one I got from Santa Claus in 1973. You've heard me talk about this before, Sean. This board right here is just I wanted to bring it. It's just a new board made by Winning Moves. They got the royalty, the right to use the Ouija. So they're selling it and making it now too. The one back there is a board from the 80s, 90s, and this board here is from the 50s. This is my board I use all the time for sessions. It's a bigger board. But my point is this: I want to share there was an older board that we would call a Talking Board or Spirit Board, because again, we just a trademark patented name, so those would be called talking boards. In 1886, we do know there was a board out there called the Witch Board, WITCH, Witch Board, and it was actually given to President Grover Cleveland for his wedding to his young new bride, and he actually got married in the White House. So we know he got this board because the company that made this attached a letter to it and said, President, please accept our board as a gift, your wedding gift, da 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 da. And then we also know that he replied back and said, hey, thank you for your ingenuity. Great creativity, but I will hardly think I will use it to consult the affairs of the country or something of that nature. Okay. So we do know there was talking boards back then. And we also know around that same time, there was a craze that was hitting the United States, and specifically was hitting the state of Ohio. And just what you said earlier, Sean, about having these cards with the alphabet on it and numbers. Well, they have things back then known as alphabet cards, and they would point to it with the device or their fingers, and they would stop on the letter when they felt like that was a letter to stop on to spell out stuff. Well, that happened after this Fox Sisters movement in 1848. So about mid-1800s, there was this craze going on in Ohio where they were starting to take out their cutting boards or their tables, planks of wood, and putting the letters and numbers on the board and coming up with different ways, contraptions to point to them. And that was truly the beginning. That's the predecessor to the modern day Ouija board. And it wasn't until 1890 when a group of businessmen and one woman got together and decided to create this board, the Ouija. And the name Ouija came during one of their sessions. And in 1891, they got their patent granted. And so Ouija, there was a lot of knockoffs over the years, there still are, but Ouija is the one name that has always stuck. So everybody tends to call all talking boards or spirit boards Ouija boards, because it's kind of like saying all tissue's called Kleenex.
Yeah.
Right?
I don't even know who. I brought this board and displayed it in your honor. It was gifted to me a long time ago. I don't even know who made it. I've looked at it. It's carved out of it's like a Celtic design.
I have a hard time saying, I see it's gray. Does it have raised, are the letters raised on it?
It's a piece of slate,
Oh,
and
slate.
all
Okay.
of the numbers and designs are carved into it.
All right. So that might be a homemade one. Somebody make that, or is it mass
Very,
produced?
very heavy
Oh, it's beautiful.
piece of slate,
Love it.
pretty thick. And what I do is,
Nice.
I've never used it, but
What?
the planchette. I know you think I'm crazy.
What?
This is
I
the
think it's crazy. You
planchette.
guys, I have like
This
50
little,
plus boards. I use mine all the time. Oh, that's cool.
but
That
it's
is so
so
cool.
smooth on this side. There's a piece of glass, clear glass, that fits over that,
Yep.
and then this planchette slides on the glass. Um,
That's nice.
and yeah, the spiritualist movement, everybody had a Ouija board. Before I go any further, I feel bad. I didn't want to interrupt you. Your information was invaluable, but we had a question come on from,
Oh,
I believe
okay.
his name was Audie. There he is.
Oh, I
And
can
he
see it
wanted
across
to
the board.
know, he's a paranormal investigator. He has this one family
Mm,
that wants me to do a spirit board session. I purchased a board. However, I'm
mm.
hesitant. Have never done this type of session. Any tips? Right up your alley, and then I might put my 2 cents.
Yeah. Well, this is the thing. Audie's his name. Audie, is that here?
Uh-huh.
That correct? Audie.
Yes.
Okay. So, this is the thing. If you haven't done it, you're not going to get good results right away. That's what I always tell people. They want to use a board on a paranormal investigation, or like in your case, trying to help a family. I don't think that's the tool to use because, okay. It really takes, and I've been using it for now 48 years, believe it or not. 48 years this July will be. It really takes a lot of practice to get it to not have gibberish. So if I sit down with somebody new, and it could be a person that's gifted. For example, I sat down with a really gifted psychic the other day. She and I were able to get some broken sentences, which is very unusual to start with somebody because typically our energy's got to gel and it takes a while. Although I can use it great with some of my partners that I've been doing it for several years with, it takes a while. So if you haven't done this before, I wouldn't take a new tool into it. Unfortunately, I would have to say I wouldn't do it until you sit down, have your board partner, and use it quite a few times because the best you're going to get if you just pull it out of the box and use it first time or even third, fourth, fifth, sixth, could be 8, 10, 12, it could be several times before it really works, is that you're going to get nothing but gibberish. You're going to get probably miscommunication, white lies, flat out lies, trickery. And so I always say, get through all that. I call that working yourself through the dead zone. And I can't tell you how long that's going to take. For me, it happened pretty quickly. I think I was born with the Ouija board, and seriously, I think I came out of the womb with the Ouija board or planchette because it works really well for me. Okay. But it's not like that for everybody. Not everybody I sit down with. So gosh, Audie, I would say I'd hate to say don't, but I'm saying do what you're going to do, but really try. You've got to use it outside of that before you try to go in there and get real messages. I would take a board personally myself into something like that because I've been using it for such a long time. In the beginning, would I have as a child? No, I wouldn't have. I wouldn't have just because it does require a lot of skill. It really does. Yeah, Sean, what were you going to say?
Darren's got a question. Thank you, Darren. Do you use a different board? Oh my gosh, this is one of my questions.
Okay.
Do you use a different board for different situations, or does it depend on the day?
I love that
you want to use.
Yeah. Well, let's see. So for about, I was only about 15 years ago. Okay. So let's see, but for 33 years, I used only one board, you guys, because you only need one board to do this work. And that was this little guy back here that Santa Claus gave me. I got it in 1973. It's in circa 1972 Parker Brothers board. They made that board up into the 80s. So, and it's a Masonite board, by the way. So I only needed one board. So until I started collecting, then I kind of got into, oh, this is fun. I feel a little more like pink Ouija today. Or you know what? I feel like glow in the dark Ouija. Just turn the lights off and get this board glowing. So it was like more like a feeling thing, or people would come over and they wanted to see how these different boards worked, or they wanted me to try a different planchette, or I have maiden voyages with my new boards when I get them. And so it's always like this induction. It's like a ritualistic ceremony because it's like I've been gifted this wonderful board. Usually it's somebody's artwork, and I will try it out and take it for a spin, get a message, and usually get the message back to the person. I've done that many times. But where I am today now, when I was doing more of the shows that I do and the live sessions and messages for people, etc., I would pretty much stick to this board. And that's because it has a lot of extra space. If you notice this on the edges, where when the planchette goes here, it doesn't fall off. Where on the smaller boards, it'll fall off. And so I really like the size of this board. This has been more my working board, if you will. But I have a lot of boards. I think I have 52 plus. This might be a little over that now. And I will go, oh, I haven't used that board in a while. Like I haven't used my 1910 board in a while. I'll pull it out or something. So I will use them all. But now if I'm really going to do work and channel and get messages, this is my go-to right here. Go-to guy right here. And I've only had it for about this board, maybe 7 or 8 years, not too long.
We have another question from Valerie. Do you put any protection sigils, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, on your board or conduct any protection rituals, protection intent before using your boards? That's another one of my questions. I don't even have to do the show anymore.
You really don't. I mean, you have a savvy audience.
That's like properly starting a session, properly closing a session, the protection. Yes, that's so important. What do you think on all of that?
Oh, bingo, right there. It's so important. It not only gets you in the space, but it raises the vibration in the room. It raises your vibration to make those connections, and it sets the sacredness. And see, the reason why I get such great results using this, and I got to tell you, I've had nothing but such positive, loving experiences with this tool, eye-opening, life-affirming, and expansive experiences with this tool, because I've taken it so seriously. On one level, I've taken it very sacredly. So when I do a session, it's really important for me it's like, I'm going to be serious about this session. I'm going to sit down. If I have a partner coming over to do it with me, or a friend that wants to try it, or I used to host a lot of open message circles. People would just come to my house. It's like we would sit down and I would dedicate that space to what we're doing. That means I may have saged earlier. I may have lit incense, or I usually have candles. I may have brought like one of my little crystals. This is my labradorite, which I love. I use this all the time. I just love it. It reminds me of the abilities to reach into the higher octaves and bring in good energy. I would do all that to set the stage. And then I always do a breathing exercise. I always do a circuitry exercise. I'm just going through this real quickly, you guys. You can go to my YouTube channel and you can see us do that. Rodney, my board partner, and I do those things. And then I always state an intent. And the intent can be in the form of an invocation or prayer, but it's my way of getting that vibration, all of us solidified in that, and putting like this protection or this environment of love. That's the whole goal. The whole goal of this is to get myself in my heart, the people who are with me, and the message to come from that space. When I channel, this is where I feel it coming from. Here and then through here. It's like the pineal gland and the heart connecting, and it's coming through here. Although what you're witnessing is that out here on the board, the board's just an excuse. It's my permission. The board's not doing anything. It's me and my partner doing all the work. And so, yes, to get in that space, I treat it sacredly. I do this ritual I mentioned, the breathing, the prayer. And then when I'm in that space, I give so much gratitude and thanks for what's happening. I will often say, just thank you so much for making these connections. And I say that in my opening statement, my opening invocation and prayer. And I say it when I'm done, because what I find is that having that level of gratitude towards anybody, anything, changes the vibration of the both of you, whether that person knows it or not. You totally shift the vibration in a room, for example. So when I express my gratitude and I've just been channeling and it's this incredible energy and I'm feeling full of love, it's like, what better way to send that back out there? And that's how I end my sessions. Then I always say goodbye, because I like to not hang up a phone or throw it on the planchette. I just like to say, hey, talk to you again. Thank you so much for coming through. And then that's how I close it. And then we usually walk away. But Valerie, you're bringing up some great points. And I know Sean agrees. It's important to have your start, your middle, and your finish. And that's how you conduct any ceremony, any ritualistic thing, anything that helps you get into that place of power and to connect with the divinity. That's it. That's it.
Do you have different boards for different entities that want to contact you? Do any of them have a preference that they want to be channeled through? And so you know in your variety of boards that who you may want to channel through different boards?
I love that question. Nobody's ever asked me that before. And I have to say, okay, so it's really about me because I'm the one doing the channeling. But what I've noticed is the guides, they come through all these boards. They've tried out every single board I have. And when I say they, when we work together. So one time we were doing, it wasn't one of these. Okay, it's a board somebody had made for me. And it was a very different looking board. Let me see, which one was that? Well, there's a few I can think of, but okay, I'll talk about the glass board. My partner had a commission glass board for me, and the guides labeled it "All That Is Board" because it had all these characters on there, all these different beings I had been communicating with over the years, and it was done in a circle, and the letters were not the same as you have A to M to N to Z, so it was like all over, and it was a little harder for them to find things, but they took their time, went around, found everything, and then started spelling, going really quick. If you watch me, it moves pretty rapidly. Okay. Then I say, okay, let's go back to the other board. We went back to this board and they spelled out, home. So I said, what? And they said, well, we said, home. I go, because that's how you like it better? They go, no, because we can tell you like it better.
Oh, that's cool.
That's like I do. This is home for me.
Yeah.
Or that board was, because I'm so used to all these different boards, but those are home. And they said, home. I thought that was just the sweetest thing. So is it a preference? They tell me no, it's really about my preference. And what I find is I haven't met a board haven't liked. I can use any board. Doesn't matter how creepy, how scary. If people told me they had bad experiences on it, I've used them all. Doesn't matter because it's not the board that works. It's me. We're the operators of the board. We're the ones doing the work. This is just our excuse, our permission slip. And so doesn't matter what, like I said, my Trader Joe's sack board, and I use these kind of planchettes, which are old CDs, and I'll go around. It doesn't matter. I could use any kind of planchette. I could switch planchettes on boards. In fact, I've used this as a planchette. I've used this as a planchette, and I've even used my mouse pad as my Ouija board. So you guys, you can use pretty much anything. So it's
there was a question a little earlier from Greg, and he wanted to. There was a comparison between the talking boards, Ouija boards, what have you, spirit boards, and ITC. Ghost boxes, and there's a million different types out there now. What is your feelings if we were to say one versus the other? Personal preference?
Well, I think so. But remember, one's old school. This is more old school. There's no electronics involved. Where ITC, you've got the ability to come through the radio waves. It's a whole nother, game. So they all work. All will work. And even things you didn't mention will work too, that you can get messages through. But I think, why not experiment? In fact, I have my little audio recorder. I will do EVPs. Sometimes I try to get them. Not so much when the guides speak, nothing comes through. They say, we don't have a voice. We don't have a voice, so we don't talk. You won't hear us. But other beings have come through, and I've worked with people who do that while we're using the Ouija session, or I've done some filming. We have had apparitions and things show up, physical sensations and touches and things of that nature. All positive, by the way. I would be doing this if it wasn't positive. So so I like to combine all the techniques. And so when I go to an investigation, my thing is I like to do the Ouija board or just use myself. Because I really feel like I'm the barometer. And as a channel, because I channel directly as it is, I can sense and feel those energies and things changing, and I'll get messages popping in. Especially when I do my readings for people, my intuitive spiritual readings, it's like that's how I work. It just comes through and I just give them what I get. And so I find that really it's a nice combination to use all those things. But what we find is that usually you tend to like one over the other. Like I know people that are just great at EVPs. They're like an EVP magnet and they get this. I'm not that way. But what I do get is I'm a Ouija board magnet. I mean, I get the messages through the board or through myself. So yeah, I actually love using all the different tools and being around people who are using them so we can, check and validate different messages we're getting.
It's funny how Dawn just came up with this question. I was just getting ready to address this. I try not to get too dark on this show.
Mm-hmm. Although you are an exorcist.
But I feel I must touch base on a little bit of the dark side of this.
That's life. Life has dark to it. Absolutely.
I think the more they're a tool, people that are gifted like you, it's all a matter of, like you said, intent, why you do what you do, and who you're channeling. I think the more whatever works best for you, the more you do it, you get, you're your best tool. You get a sense of when the spidey senses go up, when you're communicating with something that has cut the line and is not part of the gang and is up to no good. You sort of get a sense of that. I don't use them anymore. Oh my gosh, how many times I could never tell you how many times I either sat in on a session or physically took part of the Ouija session growing up with
Yeah.
my older sisters or friends, what have you. Everybody had one at one time. And, but I don't use them anymore. And I don't tell people not to use them, but I had a very bad experience with one of my, you know, and I know it was my fault. I take complete blame for it because I knew at the time I didn't know what I was doing. Uh, I took a Ouija board to a paranormal case and we used it there. And I believe, and I could be totally wrong on this, but I believe we opened up some type of portal and I didn't close it properly. And whatever was there in the home followed uh, my wife and I home. And it took up residence here in the house for about 8 weeks till I learned how to get it out of here. But that scarred me and it left me not wanting to use them anymore. Like I said, I don't judge and I don't tell people not to use them. I don't encourage people to use them. I let people make their own decisions. Me personally, they've always now I used to love them growing up. Now
Mhm.
I'm hesitant to use them. But having said that, oh my gosh, let me think of like I said, that one time everybody had them, and movies have been really responsible for that. Do you remember this?
Oh yeah. Uh-huh. I do
Great
remember that. I
movie.
remember that scene, and I actually watch movies just to go see those scenes. I remember that
I
scene
happen to know
happening.
through a friend who gave me that as a gift. It's a official
It's,
lobby card of what
it's
lies
very
beyond.
cool.
That somebody like you actually advised on how to do that scene because that scene's done very well.
Hmm.
Um, and they didn't, then you take a movie like Ouija. Um, uh, there's one out with about Ouija right now where they, the person's doing the seance is a scam artist and
Oh,
somehow
right. Yep.
I forget what the movie's called, but so you've got that. I can never, even though it was so quick, down in the basement in The Exorcist, you have just that
Hmm.
quick scene
Yep.
where Reagan has the thing, the mother tries to go use it, the planchette darts by itself to no, doesn't want the mother to use it. Then you don't see it the rest of the movie. But me being the investigator I am, I always wondered who lived in that house first that left a Ouija board in the basement closet for the girl to find. That's what I thought of when that scene first happened. But I remember after that movie, not using my Ouija board again for many, many years. But the movies have been so influential. But when I
Mhm.
see a Ouija scene done well, I like that a lot. But
Oh,
you
that's
you
nice.
see it where, and I want to go on record now and tell people this, and I know I'm going to get hate mail. Zozo is not real. That's fabrication. You can do your own research. People call me all the time and say, "Well, I've got this Ouija board, but I don't want, I saw Zach Baggins and I don't want Zozo to come after me. Zozo wasn't real." I just want to lay that to rest. And now I hand it over to you about
Better
the
you than me.
dangers.
Yeah, no, thank you for sharing that. And I think you were touching on what Don was just asking about, what the bad things happen to people when they use the Ouija board and stuff. Look, I'm not here to take away anybody's experiences because everybody has their own experiences, and we don't know everything. But by no means do I understand everything that's going on in these other dimensions. I just know the boundaries of what I'm going to allow into my life and what I will accept and not accept. And I do talk a lot about that in that book back there, The Spirits of Ouija: 4 Decades of Communication, because I really lay it out, do's and don'ts and things of that nature. My steps. I have 13 steps to using the board and setting the space and all that. But I do want to say, it's the intents, but I'm going to go a step further. It's your beliefs. So I find that you don't have to have bad experiences with Ouija boards. You can shift that into more positive, empowering, exciting, and mesmerizing and energizing sessions. Like that's what my sessions are. They're so cool. Every time I'm like blown away, and how I'm left feeling afterwards is just amazing. It's like I just meditated for like an hour or something, but yet I have so much energy. So you can shift having bad experiences. It's through your beliefs. So what I mean by that is like if you have any underlying beliefs you're not even consciously aware of, such as you've seen that you've heard about the Zozo thing from Zach Bagans and the Ghost Show, or the Exorcist is playing through your mind, or some other movies that are out there with the Ouija board that were scary to you, and you're not even thinking about that consciously, but you think that's my experience, that's all I know, you will draw that to you. So it does require a going into and looking at yourself and really asking the hard questions of why do I want to use a Ouija board if you choose to, and what do they mean to me? What have I learned about them? What do I know about them? And it may just be that you've heard, don't mess with them, it's bad for you. It's devil's play. You're going to open a portal you can't close. All these things you hear. So it doesn't have to be that way. That's what I'm here to say. Now, am I here to convince you to use a board? Absolutely not. The reason why I came out in the public, it took me 39 years of using the board before I came out in the public. And the reason why was because I was using the board a lot over all these years, and I was exploring and trying to understand what it is I'm doing and making these connections and having like so many years behind me of that this can really work well. And what happens if somebody tells me they have these bad experiences? Can I help them shift them? And I've been able to do that for countless people. And it had to do with shifting their beliefs and how to shift their intents and preparing for these sessions. And if you're going to use the board, that will also help you have a really good experience. It's like anything in life you do. Let's say you take on a new sport like golf, or you take up painting. You always want to understand the blueprint to that, if you will. So you might start reading golf stories or learn about the different clubs, what they do. You might learn about some of the great golfers in the world and, what their favorite shot was, et cetera, their favorite course. And then if you're an artist, you start learning all light and color theory. You learn your paints, your media, whatever it is you work with. And I do both those things now. I'm not saying I'm a good golfer. I'm probably a better artist than a golfer. But listen, so I understand you got to do the back work. And so I tell people, if you're going to get into using such a tool, really educate yourself about it, not from just the scary standpoint, but go to the Talking Board Historical Society and learn about the history, the people that are there that are sharing this information, the work we do in the world to teach about it, to educate the facts, not the fake stuff that's out there. And then here's some good websites to go to. One is williamfold.com. That's all about the man, William Fold, who did the Ouija board after the Kennard Company had it. Then go to another great museum. It's called museumoftalkingboards.com. My good friend Gene Orlando is the curator, and he's been on my YouTube show. If you want to hear from him directly, we just did a 5-part series all about the board. And then go to my other friend, Brandon Hodge. He has mysteriousplanchet.com. These people are stellar in their research. They have all the information there, and read that. Check out my work. I'm very positive about it. I do approach life with light. There's light and dark to life. I'm a psychotherapist by training. I practiced for many years, and I bring that into my work. So I don't think everything's Pollyanna, pie in the sky. I really think we have dark stuff in our life, and there's dark stuff out there. But I share all that, how to navigate all those things. And so educate yourself, then maybe sit down and try the board, So if you just pop it out of the box, you have nothing behind you, it's not gonna work well. You guys gotta be honest, it's not gonna work well.
Well, I do have to confess that when I do get called in on a case that we're pretty sure that the demonic is present, and either somebody's extremely oppressed there or, God forbid, possessed, I've found 99.9% of the time somebody in that home, willingly or unknowingly, has done something to bring the attention of this entity upon the family and gave this entity a feeling as though it's been given permission to attach. Now, if I go in there and I find now I'm like, I'm a MASH unit. I go in there, these people are spiritually bleeding out. They're dying. Their life force is being sucked out of them by this thing. I have to stop the bleeding right away, and then I can figure out where I'm going to go from there. But anything in the house like that they're using as far as occult stuff, I get it all out of there. And many times, amongst many things, I've found Ouija boards, and I've taken them out of there and said they got to go. Everything's got to go right now until we stop the bleeding and we can figure out how to regroup here and get your life and your family and your home back. But everything, all of this stuff has to stop. That's the only time I've ever actually done that. So when I say to you that I think some people can take these, anything can be blessed and used in a blessed way if you approach it with love and light and know what you're doing, and you yourself are a purveyor of love and light like you are. It's a completely different story. But yes or no, can people pervert these things and use them for the bad stuff? And the cat agrees with me.
Did you hear that? He said yes. It's so funny. Did you say yes, Bear? He was like totally answering you. And I'm going to say, yes, I concur. Bear and I concur. Yes, you can pervert anything. You guys think about this. Guns don't kill, people kill with guns. Just saying. Okay, so there's always the training. Valerie, would you read what Valerie said? She said it really well about the training. Can you see her message there? There, educate yourself. There she goes.
Boom. There's a lot of more that goes into metaphysical. Boom.
Yeah.
You know what? I think I'm going to reach out to Valerie after the show and ask her to be my co-host.
I think you should. She's doing it. She's asking
great questions. She's soft on the eyes.
Kitty says yes. About. I know. My cat said, yeah, his name is Bear. And by the way, you guys, I'll tell you this. I do speak to animals through the board that are dead and alive. I learned in 1992 is when it started for me. One of my cats came through and started talking to the board. It's a whole story to that. I read about it in my book back there. When I first got him, he came to me. How old are you? You're turning 8 in June. That's right. So he came to me off the streets. He found me. He adopted me. Okay. He was probably about 9 months old at the time. And I decided to keep him. I was going to take him to a shelter it was a no-kill shelter and adopt him out. I already had 2 cats, but he just fit in so well. And I slept on it one night and I go, you know what? Keeping him. So anyway, I was sitting there with one of my girlfriends who used the board with me. She's in the book back there. Her name's Rhonda. And we're talking to, I think, Mary Angel. We're talking to the angel, I think. Or maybe it was the guides. I can't remember. And then all of a sudden the planchette slows down and spells out, I like the name Bear. I looked at her, she looked at me, and I go, the cat was laying on the floor down there, like he's sitting over here right now. I said, did he just tell us he wants to be called Bear? And he goes, yes. And I go, why do you like the name Bear? He goes, it's a strong animal. I go, what was your name before? He goes, George. I said, George? Your name is Bear. George? I always call him George to be funny. So he named himself on the Ouija board tool. And so is the board doing it? No, it's me channeling the cat. This is my way of showing it out here. Clyde Lewis said it the best. I was on his show one time and he said, it's kind of like your theatrics. I go, theatrics. That's it. It's my theater. And not that I'm pushing you guys. It's literally pulling me. It's that's my permission for the energy to flow that way. And so I just did this for many years that I just become really, really good at it. But yeah, it's theatrics. So it's really ourselves doing the work. So that's important to say. I think somebody also popped on. His name was Greg. He said hello to us. Hello, Greg. I just want to make sure I'm trying to catch these pop-on comments, you guys. It's hard. Talking, all the stuff at the same time. Multitasking.
Dawn would love to talk to her petty dog. Aww. I just lost a best friend from 10 years ago that I had to help on his way to heaven. And since his ashes came back to the house, I've seen him twice getting up from my front door and darting across my living room. And then I hear him in his kennel. So that was good closure for me because I'm still looking around for, where I left my heart, because saying goodbye to a mastiff that you've had since he was 6 weeks old to well over 10 years old, it's tough. So
it was so recent too. I remember when you posted that, I learned about it. It was horrible. Yeah, you guys, it's never easy. You guys all y'all know, I'm preaching to the choir. We all know how hard it is to let go of an animal. One of my cats who talks to me a lot before he died, when I first had him through the board. He's actually a star of the show. He's one of my cats. He used to come to all my shows. He would meow in the background. He would walk by. He was my black cat named Panzer. And when he passed, it was just horrible. It was like about 2 weeks later. I was going to go shopping and run some errands for the afternoon, and I kept hearing in my mind, it was from him. He's like, "You've got to make a video about what happens when pets die. You've got to make a video." It kept
Oh
going on
yeah,
in my head.
absolutely.
I'm like,
I would watch that. I would love
okay,
that.
well, I made one. So he made me do one, you guys. Seriously, I sat down and I sat down by the pool because I had a pool at that house. I've since moved, but I had a pool at that house, and he used to always go outside with me and sit by the pool. It was just, so I sat by the pool and honored him. It was hotter than Hades out there. And I did this video and I started crying. I was emotional and I didn't know, but he had channeled a bunch of information to me about the afterlife, about him, his life, and what it was like. I had to euthanize him. And that was my first time ever. And I felt horribly about it because
Oh
I know what you
yeah.
guys go through. And so he explained it all. And so I made the video, and he said to me, so it's got a lot of hits, you guys. Go to YouTube, look under Karen A. Dahlman and look for what happens when your pet transitions or dies or something like that. But look under my thing and look up death, animal dies or something. So if I'm gonna get I'm going on so many tangents right now because I have so many things to say about that. But so we did this about, I think, oh God, he's been gone for about 4 years. So we did it right away, about 2 weeks after he died. And he said to me about maybe a year later, he goes, "Have you noticed how many people I've helped through my passing that when I was alive, I always wanted to do that?" And I'm like, oh, it makes me emotional because the animals, you guys, it makes me very emotional talking about this because the
Yeah.
animals, we think we rescue them, although we do care for them and take care of them and they rely and count on us for that. The truth is they rescue us. They're here to be our master teachers and healers. And Panzer was so proud of himself. He says, "I've helped more people through my passing." And it was so true. I mean, I'm going to cry, you guys, because it's just so beautiful. It's not
Yeah,
like a
absolutely.
sad thing. It's like I'm feeling like how much they love us, how much the animals love us. And I hope everybody understands that. I have a feeling that people that are here watching this, because you're sensitive, you're empathic already for tuning into a show like this that Sean does, you're going to resonate with the different energies, and which includes the animal kingdom. So yeah, you guys, I got to say, every single animal will transition. I don't care what people out there will tell you. They do move on. If you want to call it heaven, you want to call it the afterlife, they are there. I communicate with them all the time. They come back. You know your dog is still alive. And by the way, they're very much alive, but they don't even want to call it death. They're in another dimension. And the animals have all these roles they take on. And the roles shift as they develop and grow. Sometimes their role is to pass the baton on to another animal that'll come on into your life after they leave. Or sometimes the role is to be reincarnated to come into your life as well. There's so many different degrees of this. And often some of them will not even transition or move on to the next encounter or life. They may stay there helping you from the background. So like your dog is doing right now. And it's just a beautiful thing. So a lot to say about the animal kingdom and the afterlife.
Well, real quick before we run out of time, I want to give a shout out to the gentleman that said hi from Portugal. That's
Oh,
great.
hi.
To have
Yeah, I
somebody there.
saw you pop in.
And then there was another woman who mentioned wanting to know if her dog was still alive or not, that it's been missing for 2 years. Honey, maybe reach out to Karen after the show, see if there's any way to channel that type of information. I'm not sure. What do I got left as far as time goes? Couple of minutes. Real quick before I have to kick you out of here. Any other forms of divination that you enjoy? If you can't get your hands on anything to make a makeshift talking spirit board or Ouija, I mean, you got like the table tipping and the scrying. And I went to a seance where they were using the seance trumpet.
Oh, yeah.
I even was reading about the apostles using casting lots with bones and stones.
Oh, yeah, stones
in
and
the
bones.
day.
You're absolutely right.
Any other thing that you like in that realm of tools?
I do. Okay, I love scrying. I have a black mirror. I learned that from Rosemary Ellen Guiley. She and I would do that. We used to do Ouija board
She
together.
rest in peace.
Yeah, and by the way, she's very much alive in spirit, and we still communicate. I have a crystal ball that's more new for me, and it was gifted to me because I was able to use it. Somebody said, this is yours, use it. So I have that. I also love cards. I love tarot and oracle decks. I have so many. I have more oracle cards than tarot decks, but I use those all the time. It's probably my second favorite way of doing readings, of doing, what would I call it? Channeling. I like to do automatic writing. I have automatic writers where you put the pencil in there and it writes like this. I also do just direct with my fingers moving, and I love doing voice channeling. I love working with people who have electronic devices. I only have my little recorder. I don't have all those devices, the Frank's box and all that, but I so enjoy when people use that. I get together with some of my friends, one of my nerd friends, Patrick Keller, the big seance. We do investigations together and do this stuff, and we just nerd out on these things. I love all tools. I also love using a pendulum. I love doing dowsing rods. Gosh, I mean, I love it all. I love it all. I mean, I even do ruins, and I have the I Ching. I'll throw the I Ching. I used to throw the I Ching all the time when I was in graduate school years ago. But I go in and out of phases. But I would say the two things that stuck with me the most in all my experimentation of different devices and stuff would be the Ouija board, number one, and number two, the Oracle and Tarot cards. And then number three would be the pendulum. And the thing I'm doing more and more of those these days, you guys, is I'm using direct channeling, just my body as the apparatus, as the vessel for the messages.
I love you.
I
respect you. You're just cool. And maybe one day we'll get to work a case together. That would be cool.
Oh, God, I would love it. Absolutely.
Did you have fun when you come back? Because I know when I get off here, I get a barrage of private messages from a variety of people. When's she coming back? When's he coming back? Great show, what have you. Did you have fun when you come back?
I will always come back, Sean. We go way back, and like I said, we used to do audio together.
I know you're busy. I almost even hate to reach out to people that I know are busy because I know they're going to want to say yes, but maybe they can't.
Well,
and they feel bad.
We had a little scheduling issue. I had to change it. Remember, I had some issues come up because I was moving at the time. All kinds of stuff, you guys. So yeah, no, I would love to come back. I love your audience. They're very savvy, ask great questions, and I love your energy. And I love being on the show. You know. So absolutely, when you ask me back, we'll figure out a time.
Okay. You do me a big favor. Give your cat a big hug and a kiss for me.
I will.
Enjoy the remainder of your Friday afternoon and your Friday evening. God bless you. And I will, I'll be in touch. But have a great day. Okay. Thank you so much.
Yeah. God bless you too. Okay. Bye, everybody.
Good night, Karen. Oh my gosh. Look, guys, I didn't get to one of my questions because I have such great audience members. They took the show. I love that. You guys make my job easy, and because I want to know what you guys think. I want to have my pulse on my fingers on the pulse of my audience and what they want to ask and what they want to know from the guests. But guys, God bless you all for tuning in. That's a heartfelt thank you. Trust me, because I know I don't have a show without all of you. I do want to give a big shout out to someone who's filling in for my producer, Adrian Hart. He is known in the industry simply as a large pitcher of sweet tea. You all know him. You all love him. Co-creator and co-host of Unexplained Cases, the one and only, I even forgot the guy's name. Rick Gardner. I love you, Rick. Thank you, Rick, for all your hard work. I could not do the show without Rick filling in for Adrian today. So God bless you, Rick. We need to talk a little bit later about your buddy, how's he's doing in the spiritual realm with all his issues. What else do I want to say to you guys? Oh, next week's guest. Oh my gosh, you guys are going to love her. Lucinda Laughing Eagle Morel. You guys are going to love her. I think I'm going to try to get her to talk about all things spiritual from the world of the indigenous peoples and all the things I've experienced through my indigenous friends and things she's experienced in that realm. So you're going to love her next week on the 21st. Lucinda Laughing Eagle Morel. Guys, check out the Paranormal United Network's Facebook Live page. Awesome lineup. If you like my show, there's a lot of shows over there way better than mine. Check it out. You'll thank me later. Paranormal United Network Facebook Live page. Other than that, guys, keep praying for the Middle East, that peace comes to that region. I love you all. Have a great week. I'll see you all next week. Good night, Harold. Rest in peace. Good night, Bill. Good night, Dan. Good night, Ernie. God bless you all. Peace. Good night, everybody.